Welcome world to the premiere of Two Step Reviews featuring the 2021 Jeep Wrangler Sahara Unlimited featuring the high altitude package. So come follow me around to the front of the vehicle where we're going to begin our journey with the 2021 Jeep Wrangler. The 2021 Jeep Wrangler, the reason why I wanted to start at the front is because let's just start off by looking at this beautiful front end. It has awesome looking street appeal, and it definitely has an aggressive look with a little bit of a luxury feel at the same time. With this 2021 Jeep Wrangler featuring the high altitude package, it's clearly evident that they have put a lot of effort and time into this vehicle. You can start out right off the bat by noticing that this one has the LED package, which consists of the LED headlights, LED reflectors, and LED fog lights. Attached to that, we also have the aggressive looking tow hooks that they've matched to the front bumpers. You get two in the front, one in the rear. And one of the great parts about it is that it still gives it that aggressive look of what this vehicle is intended to do. Going off-road, you know, you're gonna need the power and you're gonna need to understand what this thing is packing under the hood. Under the hood, we have a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 matched with an 8-speed automatic gearbox with e-drive. With that being said, this puppy pumps out 286 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. So on the high altitude package, on its side profile, we're gonna go through some of the items that make this Jeep Wrangler unique and different from all the other Jeep Wranglers, especially ones that are not with the high altitude package. The little badges that make this the high altitude package really stand out. We have the black trail package that's only limited to the high altitude package. We have the black lettering that's all across the vehicle itself. With the high altitude package, you get 20-inch rims that are painted in a gloss black finish. And if you come a little closer here, you'll notice that it's got the little Willy symbol on all parts of this vehicle. It's Jeep's little way of saying that here's our Easter eggs and come check them out. I think it's a really cool and unique feature. With these beautiful black gloss wheels that we have here, we have the Bridgestone 275 5520s wrapped around these rims. We have color matched body panels starting with the front fenders all the way to the rear fenders as well. They match the color on this car, which is Billet silver metallic, which I think, especially in this beautiful sunny day, really pops and really stands out. And at the same time too, you'll also notice for all the Jeep fans that the actual door handles are also color matched as well. This is something that is uniquely sold on these vehicles, especially the ones with the high altitude. And I think it sets the car off and really stands out between all the other Jeep Saharas that are out there, especially the Wranglers. With that being said, we have the updated black aftermarket step-up bars that the owner had initially swapped out. With these step-up bars, you can tell that they got a little more rustic feel compared to the old OEM ones. The owner said that they kind of felt a little not as rustic. They didn't also feel as strong as the OEM counterparts that you see here. Finally, they've put a more aggressive door handle for your gas tank here. And to be honest, I think it suits the vehicle really well. We're in the interior now, and one of the things that I can honestly say truthfully, this has a beautiful interior. Jeep has done a wonderful job with the dashboard and making it, including this caramel stitching that you see all across the dashboard here. It's also in these high altitude specific seats that you can also see here with the cross stitching. They look really beautiful. I think they set off this vehicle and give it that more elegant touch to the Jeep Wrangler. It's pretty cool because honestly, when you look at it, it's as if they have an 8.4 inch display here, and it looks like an iPad that's literally encased by an OtterBox itself already. With that, you know, one of the big features that's on this dashboard itself, when you look at all the controls, the volume controls, the aircon, the tuner for your FM AM radio, you start to understand that no design feature was ever spared on this. And one of the big things is that you can tell that this vehicle is meant to do some heavy off-roading just by looking at the interior itself, as well as providing a more comfortable feel for anybody else who loves to go off-road. I've driven other Jeeps in the past, and I can honestly say Jeep has done a wonderful job at upgrading themselves and ensuring that whoever is buying these vehicles, whether it be someone who's getting one every year or somebody else who's honestly just looking to get into a Jeep for the first time, this is really breathtaking in the sense of this is what an off-roader can look like and also be comfortable. What we have here for the cockpit of the Jeep Wrangler, we have a beautiful caramel stitched leather wrapped steering wheel. At the same time, when you wrap your fingers around it, you can feel the ruggedness and the well-built quality of this Jeep. When you sit in here, you can feel that the vehicle, nothing shakes, nothing moves. You feel like almost like you're in a mini tank, to be completely honest with you. And at the same time too, you have all your features in one spot right by your hands. You have Bluetooth connectivity so that you can have your hands free and you can call. You have your hang up and your answering buttons located on the same interface. When we go on the other side, we have our cruise controls as well as all of our blind spot detection. We have the blind spot detection here, rear and front, and you can option those however you'd like. This vehicle has all the options and is fully decked out. You're joining me now in the center console where I want to go through some of the storage features that this vehicle has to offer. The Jeep Wrangler has a beautiful leather armrest with alongside it has the caramel stitching. On the first compartment that you can open, these are where you can hold some items like your wallet or your glasses or your ownership, things like that. It's a very small compartment, but it's necessary for those quick grab items that you always need to grab. The second option allows you to open up to a much deeper storage compartment that allows for a lot of storage actually, and I'm kind of surprised at how deep it is. It has a USB charger down below, and it has the 2 slots on the side of the actual built-out compartment. This, for anybody who's been going through iPhone chargers or Android chargers, you'll understand that these 2 keyholes are very important to you because a lot of auto manufacturers have not thought about this and have actually caused many broken cables for myself, and I'm sure many of you out there as well. So it's great to see that this has a very deep compartment for that, and it's finished in this beautiful leather. We also have the 2 cup holders that are up here up front that are standard on all Jeep Wranglers. We also have our gearbox for park, reverse, neutral drive, and a manual 8-speed transmission. We also have the low range and high range gearboxes here. One thing I wanted to point out in terms of the axles on this car, they have a 210 Dana in the front and a Dana 220 in the rear. For the driver facing controls, we have a lot of tech and we have a lot of gadgets in this vehicle. One of the biggest ones that blew my mind is the Travel Link system. If you don't have this, you need to have it. On the Travel Link system, you have tons of options that allow you to look at movie listings, check the weather, check the fuel prices around you, check your sports. If you have a SiriusXM subscription, you can access that here. But the one that I love the most and what fits this vehicle perfectly is the weather mapping. When selecting the weather mapping, this literally gives you a perfect representation of whether, a cold front is coming in or rain, and how much precipitation is about to happen and when is it going to take place. The radar itself is very cool and it fits this vehicle to the T, mainly because in this vehicle you're going to take it on an adventure and you never know where adventure is going to take you. Back to the UAPS page. This is something that I've noticed on a lot of Dodge vehicles is the actual interface or the UI that we're looking at of the actual media interface itself. It's very distinct and it's very user-friendly. One thing that I've noticed, for instance, if you want to put your driver's seat on hot, hit it 3 times. A lot of manufacturers nowadays, I feel like, are having a hard time finding a way to integrate things like heat warmers and making sure that it's not tedious for an individual to go in and press the buttons to turn on their heat warmer. With this one, it's just 3 taps of the actual button representation of the actual feature that you're looking to utilize. At the same time too, you have Wi-Fi hotspotting with 4G LTE. You also have
your GPS and your off-road pages as an option just because you can, because you're in a Jeep. At the same time too, if you wanted to open up your backup camera, you can absolutely do that. One thing I really like to point out here is that the crisp footage of this rear view camera has absolutely blown my mind in terms of how far we've come in backup camera technology. With the infotainment system, we're going to start off with the most basic controls for everyday use. You have your volume controls here, you have your aircon to change the speed, you have your AM and FM tune for your radio. We have the front defroster, rear defroster, heated steering wheel function, heated seats if you want to access them here, which is a fantastic idea, although you do have the option of entertaining them through the user face on the actual screen. We have the recycle here, AC, and you can change through the cycling modes of where you'd like the air to come out. When we dig into the actual screen and its interface, you'll find that it's very seamless in the way that it functions and provides absolutely the quickest I've seen in terms of responsiveness. We have, for example, controls here for the driver, and we have controls for the passenger. We have heated seats, high, medium, and low. You can tap them on each setting to see which one you would like to prefer, as well as the heated steering wheel to activate during those cold winter months. We have the mirror dimmer, which is a fantastic function, especially at nighttime, and especially because all of the off-road trucks that like to be 12 inches on lifts or of lifts, this allows me to not be blinded by their lights that are always shining in my eyes at nighttime and blinding you while you're driving. If we go back to it, we also have the ability to just view the backup camera. And to be completely honest with you, with this 4K camera that we're using to shoot at this, look at how crazy that backup camera looks. It's undeniable to see that they've included a fantastic camera, and it's nice to see how far we've come in terms of backup cameras. We can also take a look at the U apps, which is something that's, I believe, is customizable for the end user in terms of what they like to see and use every day on the screen. You can include the different ones that you want, and I believe that you can move them around. You have all of your settings over here, and you also have the capabilities of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is now becoming a new standard across all of the automotive world. We have our navigation here, which does its basic functions. I believe that everyone now is no longer using those things. Everyone is just connecting their phone and kind of using the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto. But in case you're someone who loves the navigation system, there is one in here as well that you can utilize. If you look at the door over here on this side, you'll notice one thing's missing. Where are the actual window regulators? Where do I hit the switch to put the window down? It's kind of interesting because on majority of Jeeps, they're all located in the center console here. You push them down, and one thing I noticed is that when you push these two guys down, you're also doing the international sign for all the Jeep users out there. And if you don't know, now you know. After we put them back up, we'll take a look at the top of the vehicle here, and one thing we'll notice is that this vehicle has come with a soft touch roof. With one touch of a button, we're able to create a whole different experience with the one touch roof. It's nice to see that they've kind of opted out for this option, because I really think that people who don't like to take off all of the doors and the panels and still want that badass feel, this still gives you that option. With one simple touch, it will retract and you'll be as good as new. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking, soft top, how great can it be? There's actually been videos of people taking these things through car washes, and it's handled them very well. Even wintertime with all the packed snow, they've had no issues with it during the winter months. So anybody else who's doubting the technology that they've included in here, you should probably get one yourself. The speakers in this vehicle have been upgraded to the Alpine system, which consists of 2 speakers up front, 2 speakers on the upper lumbar above the rear passengers, and one huge Alpine sub fitted in the back of the vehicle. So one of the coolest features that is a part of the infotainment system in the 2021 Jeep Wrangler is the Off-Road Pages app. In this app, it gives you, after it loads, I have found that it has taken a little bit of time for everything to load, but honestly that's okay, because the value that Off-Road Pages provides is pretty unique and super cool. So it kind of gives you the drivetrain layout, kind of shows my angle in which I'm steering the wheels, shows you the transfer case as well, and also your accessory gauges. So your coolant temps, oil temps, battery voltage, transmission temps, like very useful things for anybody kind of going off-roading and just wanting to take a look at these things as they're kind of going on, because I know that, you know, things tend to heat up when you're going off-road. So I feel like this is a very important feature for anybody who's looking to obviously take their Wrangler off-road, as well as somebody who's deciding whether or not they should get a 2021 Jeep Wrangler. At the same time too, now that we're on the topic of off-roading, it kind of shows you your pitch and your roll. So, you know, right now we're in a parking lot, and in the way that it's kind of setting is showing me that I have a 3 degree of roll, which is kind of interesting because at the same time too, there is a little bit of a pitch in this spot, and this system is actually picking it up. And also you kind of have your coordinates here as well as your altitude. So I feel like this is a very important feature for any of the gurus who are looking to kind of take off-roading to the next level, but also trying to find something that has a turnkey application. First things first, we need to discuss some things. The steering is really heavy. The steering is really heavy. After coming down just a slight bump, you can feel the stiffness in the suspension on this vehicle. One of the crazy things too is that, you know, it does look really good as it drives by. You'll see that the vehicle itself just has like a mean street presence to it. And at the same time, you guys can kind of understand that, you know, Jeep has kind of taken a leap forward. I'm really impressed with the interior on this vehicle, as well as kind of how it looks and just how it handles as well. 286 horsepower from this V6 3.6 liter Pentastar honestly is more than well of enough. They do have a 2 liter option as well. And when you want to get on it, it'll get on it. So, you know, there's multiple things, you know, when you get on the pickup. It's not bad. It's not bad for the pickup, I'm not gonna lie. Especially with that e-torque, you know, it did feel like there was a little bit of a delay, but at the same time too, you know, there's tons to do in here. It's very spacious. It's very comfortable, very relaxing, to be honest. I did my first Jeep wave, guys. The first Jeep wave. Another Wrangler passed by. The actual view is fantastic. You have great clearance on both sides in terms of visibility. Again, that steering, the steering is so heavy, and it's definitely gonna take some time to get used to. You can feel as you're turning, it kind of almost counter steers, mainly because, you know, you are rolling on 20-inch rims. But at the same time too, the suspension in this vehicle is very different than what you'd feel in a normal SUV or anything like that. Like this is a Jeep. This isn't a normal SUV. Honestly, it drives great. Especially for a Jeep, where you know that you're gonna have that off-putting feeling of just having something that was just built to go off-road. This is something that's it's gonna be very different in terms of how you drive and how you handle the vehicle, especially in terms of responsiveness. But it's great. I love how user-friendly this vehicle is. I love the options that you get, especially in the speedometer. I can see how fast I'm going. I can change my heated seats with a few touches. I know that a lot of, again, manufacturers are having that issue of being able to incorporate, you know, the feasibility of being able to just press a button and have the function work as intended. A lot of people right now are kind of hiding those things, and people are getting frustrated that they have to touch too many times in order to actually activate the feature, especially within the head unit. So, you know, it's a different experience for sure in terms of driving a Jeep.